Yes, I hope the pictures are working a little better than the televisions and the commentary positions, which have all gone on the blink at the moment. But here we are, ready now then for England's second match at World Cup 2018 here in Russia. Just waiting for the teams to walk out. The bearers of the flags now come into our sight from out of the tunnel, the England flag and the flag of Panama. They've never been brought out together for a senior international before. And out now come the officials and the teams, and actually the ball girl who has picked the ball off the plinth and given it to the referee. In fact, she's still got it now, is turning around. I can tell you, because she was on 5 Live Breakfast this morning, she is 8-year-old Alicia Singh from Huddersfield, who won a competition to carry on the match ball. She said she wanted to meet Harry Kane more than anyone else. They arrived here last night. She's 8 years old and she's here with her dad Ravi, who'll be up in the stands, and he said that when he saw her walk out with the ball, he said he'd be in floods of tears. So big day for her, and obviously it's a World Cup match. It's a big day for England and Panama, and here in the stadium in Nizhny Novgorod we're ready for the anthems. Well, some fantastic scenes here. That's only the second time that the anthem of Panama has been played before a match of the World Cup finals. And I'm not prone to this sort of thing, but that almost brought tears to my eyes watching the way that the Panama players were singing the songs. And also Hernan Dario Gomez, who's Colombian, their coach, so obviously not from Panama. He's standing watching his Panama players singing their anthem with a massive smile on his face. Great to see. And the supporters as well, many of them in tears in the stands here. So here we are in Nizhny Novgorod. That's a new venue for England. Never played here before, never played Panama before in a senior international. It's the 38th different country that England have played at a World Cup, so it's an historic event here. A beautiful setting. It's a glorious afternoon. I mean, it's too hot for playing football, but it's a beautiful summer's day in this futuristic stadium. It looks wonderful. Angled white columns all the way around, a sort of circular effect, and above our heads, in amongst all of the white metalwork, we've got dark blue and light blue and white panels on the roof, and the bright Russian sunshine is shining through in this stadium, which is very close to the banks of the Volga River, where it meets the Oka. So Harry Kane is shaking hands with the unmistakable captain of Panama, Roman Torres, the number 5, 32 years old, and they're having the photographs taken with the Egyptian officials. Gehad Grisha is the referee. If you've missed it, the team news, England making just the one change, and that is Loftus-Cheek in for the injured Dele Alli. So England with Jordan Pickford, Kyle Walker, John Stones and Harry Maguire, Kieran Trippier and Ashley Young are the wing-backs, Jordan Henderson with Jesse Lingard and Ruben Loftus-Cheek either side, and Raheem Sterling playing behind Harry Kane. And the Panama team unchanged from their first match. Jaime Pinedo is their goalkeeper, Michael Murillo, Roman Torres, Fidel Escobar and Eric Davis are the back four. Midfield of 5 with Gabriel Gomez in the middle, Armando Cooper and Anibal Godoy either side of him, with Edgar Barcenas and Jose Luis Rodriguez the wide players, and then the 37-year-old Blas Perez playing up front for Panama. 43 goals in 119 international appearances, but Panama have never beaten a European team in 10 previous matches. England, they're on an 11-match unbeaten run. It's over a year since England last lost, and they need to win this match to confirm their place in the last 16 at this World Cup, which they would do with one match to spare. So that's the target, Chris Waddle.
Yep, first 10 for me, John. Go and blast it, go in the faces. These will not be used to playing any tempo of football wherever they play, whether it's in America, whether it's in Panama, wherever it is.
Guatemala,
Chile, Guatemala,
Peru,
Bulgaria, Romania,
Slovakia.
Yeah, it's wherever you want to name. They're not used to playing high tempo. So first 10-15 minutes, I like to see England do like they did against Tunisia. Obviously will convert the chances, and after that they can dictate the pace of the game.
So here we are, Sunday afternoon, the 24th of June. It is almost 3 p.m. here in Nizhny Novgorod. It's 1 p.m. back in the UK. It's 7 a.m. back in Panama, and the game begins. They'll have got up early to watch this one. This is one they didn't want to miss. England begin the match, white shirts, blue shorts, white socks. They're playing from right to left as we look high, just to the right, overlooking the halfway line. And Panama are in their It's actually pillar box red, I would say. Shirts, shorts and socks with the white trim.
This is the first team to play a back six. So there you go.
That may be the shape of things to come. Gomez is so deep in there, he is almost part of the back line. So England in possession on this swelteringly hot afternoon. I don't have an exact temperature, but the indication was that it would be something around 31 degrees Celsius. But Gareth Southgate said yesterday, and Danny Murphy backed it up actually, it's easier if you're in possession. And England coming down the right-hand side. And England now could be in business here. The ball is pulled across. Lingard with a touch. It was a poor touch actually. It bounced away from him. Henderson tries to win it back for England on the edge of the penalty area. It bounces down, is whacked away, and there's a foul given Panama's way. And actually, there's an England man down. Is it Jesse Lingard?
No. Is it?
Yes, I think it is. He's taken a bang in the midst of all of that. Jordan Henderson was in there, and he was caught, Jesse Lingard, by an elbow. And we know very well about the robust nature of this Panama team. 5 bookings in the first match. Gabriel Gomez jumped for that, using his arms, trying to use them as levers, and he caught Lingard on the side of the jaw.
I don't think he meant that. I don't think he saw Lingard. It's a great start by him. Loftus-Cheek getting down our right, trying to pull it back. But the key is the tempo. I know it's hot. We keep talking about how hot it is and uncomfortable to play in, but England's just got to get that first goal as early as possible for me, and then in total control of the game, because we've saw already Panama setting up with a back 6 at times, and it's damaged limitations for them.
They're making sure that Jesse Lingard is okay. He's up, he's on his knees, and he's been spoken to, because obviously there is the concussion issue you've spoken about at this World Cup in relation to Amrabat of Morocco, and so they're going through the procedure here to check that everything is okay with Jesse Lingard, and that there are 5 checks, and clearly the England medical people are going through those checks with Jesse Lingard, so we'll just have to wait to see that they are satisfied that there is no concussion issue here. The referee, Gerhard Grisha, is just keeping an eye on this, and then Jesse Lingard is being led off to the far side of the field, and I think we can take it from that he's going to be okay to continue. So with that lengthy stoppage, we've already played almost 3 minutes here. BBC Radio 5 Live. This is the World Cup on the BBC on 5 Live. You can listen via the BBC Sport app, but also it's a BBC television game this afternoon. Guy Mowbray and Danny Murphy are just sitting to our left here, so you can watch it if you're on your way home on BBC One, and if you like, you can continue listening to our 5 Live commentary via the red button. Panama making their first attack down the left-hand side. Free kick. Luis Rodriguez is fouled, and it's a free kick out on the left.
Well, I just think it's a long clearance by the keeper. A couple of headers won. Trippier gives a silly foul, push away. Don't get involved in that. Play your football. You don't want to go down. We know they're physical. We know they like to stop the game and foul. Don't go that. Play your football.
Free kick, which is going to be swung in left-footed by the left back, Eric Davis. Eric with a C. Here it is, the delivery with the left foot, headed away by the England captain Harry Kane near the penalty spot. It comes out on an effort from distance, from 40 yards plus. He teed it up, Edgar Barcenas, went for the volley, went for glory. My goodness, if he'd scored from there, that would have been Panamanian glory, but it was high over the top of the crossbar.
It was a long way away from the goal. That was very ambitious, but there you go. Look, back in their own half. Basically, it's a 6 nearly, and 3 in front of them, 1 up front on his own, and the counter-attack goes out.
Pass from Lingard back on the field, short to Ashley Young, and that means that Panama are away on a dangerous attack. Here is Barcenas, who plays it square, and it's blazed over the top by Anibal Godoy in the area, 16 yards out. He saw the England goal open up in front of him, and with his left foot he sliced it horribly wide.
Oh, what a chance. You're not getting a better chance on his left foot. He comes to side foot, he just escapes up. You think he's done everything right. He's not going to blast it. He's going to place it from the edge of the box, high and wide again.
Careless from England.
Yeah, they've got to watch for that. They're going to have a lot of football at the back and into midfield. Don't get sloppy. At the minute, I think they're playing a little bit too slow.
England 0, Panama 0. England with Loftus-Cheek, but the ball runs under his feet, and it runs back to Davis. And now Godoy, who just missed that chance, gives it back to Rodriguez on the left wing. Rodriguez works it infield, and he's caught late there. Rodriguez, the ball had gone, and it's a free kick to Panama, And Loftus-Cheek just gets a word, no more than that, after committing that foul. Just a little shove.
Just late, a little trip, but nothing major. But England just haven't settled. They cannot settle at the minute. You've got to give their Panama credit. They've started very bright. They've got a good shape of them. Well, counter-attacking football at the minute. But England have got to settle down, move the ball quicker.
That's what they did in the early stages against Tunisia, but it's not been the case just yet. Free kick taken, and it's hoisted right across the penalty area, but Pickford's going to allow that to bounce into the shadows. There is a circle, because it's a circular roof here, so we have a circle of sunshine, which is currently on the far side of the field, around about, well, probably a quarter of the playing surface at the moment, and most of the stand on the far side. They must be baking in there on the opposite side. It's a day when everyone needs to drink water here. And England bringing the ball forward from the back with Kyle Walker. He is the only England player who's on a yellow card after the opening group matches. 5 of the Panama team are. Harry Maguire now. England just keeping it, but again without that pace that Chris is talking about. But I think just get the feeling here that the message from Gareth Southgate has been to keep possession and make Panama work. But as a result, they're not moving it as quickly as they did against Tunisia. However, there's a long ball over the top from Walker towards Trippier, who takes it on, but the challenge comes in and it bounces behind off Davis for the first corner.
Good run by Trippier. I was watching it. Great run, great timing, great ball in. He's trying to hold Trippier off and get himself a goal kick, the defender, but it's gone out of the corner. We know already, we've seen the tournament how strong England are at set pieces.
Someone waves the flag of China up the set of grey steps behind where Kieran Trippier is going to take this corner for England. Scored with a corner right at the end of the game against Tunisia, and let's see if Harry Kane is going to be allowed. And the referee has actually called across.
Yeah, but he'd still do it. Look, he's doing it again. He's just told him to stop. And look, he goes and does it again.
Harry Kane standing a couple of yards inside the area. Godoy has actually put his arms around he's not holding. And actually, Harry Maguire's just been pulled over by Gabriel Gomez.
Do you want to dance?
It was.
Isn't it? Do you want to waltz? It's a waltz, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, is it? It could be Latin American.
Oh, good one.
Thanks very much. Don't often get that from you. Trippier with the corner from the right. Well, Maguire's been pulled over and the ball's headed into the net. John Stones is there, totally unmarked. He sneaked in 11 yards out. He just placed a header into the back of the net. It's his first goal for England. He scored it here at the World Cup in Russia, and England in front with 8 minutes on the clock. 1-0 over Panama.
Well, I've got to say, they were tightly marked. The referee pulled them up twice. All this tournament, I know that the second game, England look really strong at set pieces. They're all running around each other. They don't know who's picking stones. If he gets away, it's a great header. Goalkeeper's right, no chance. Bottom corner, really good header. And as I said, England look really threatening from set pieces.
Trippier's corner, Stones with the header, and frankly, they don't get much easier than that. I don't think Stones had anyone within 3 or 4 yards of him. And I mean, England players were being hauled over in all parts of the penalty area, and actually just seeing the replay of Gareth Southgate, who begins by appealing for a penalty and ends up celebrating the very straightforward goal that John Stones has scored for England to make it 1-0.
Exactly what they needed, an early goal. Now they can control the game. They're not chasing it, they're not going to be nervous about it, they're in control. Now they've just got to keep the tempo up for the next 5-10 minutes, but look after the ball.
Be a good win from here for Panama. They're in possession with Murillo, who wins a throw-in.
I think he was going to let John Stones go.
Murillo, the right back. Yeah. Well, England, as Panama take the throw-in and lose possession immediately. Henderson now, Lingard, who fortunately seems to have shaken off that note, and he's chopped down by Cooper on the halfway line. That was a poor tackle, that. And a yellow card, quite rightly so.
No, he deserves that. That's just reckless, and there's no need for it at all.
And that's him out of the Belgian game, out of the Tunisia game.
It's so late.
That's his second yellow card of the tournament. So winning his 99th cap, Armando Cooper will not win his 100th here at the World Cup. That's almost brainless, isn't it?
It's so early in the game as well now, and discipline.
England 1, Panama 0, BBC 5 Live. First of our 3 commentaries today. The next 2 are the second set of matches in Group H, and that is the group that the 2 teams from the England-Belgium group, Group G, will play in the last 16. So first of all, 4 o'clock BST, we have Japan against Senegal, and then at 7 o'clock this evening BST, Poland against Colombia, which comes live from inside the stadium in Kazan. Here is Harry Maguire winning the ball on the halfway line, and it's out of play for a throw that Murillo takes down the right-hand side. Barcenas is after this. Barcenas pulls a low ball across. It's boom, just cleared by Walker. I thought he'd missed it.
That will come from Harry Maguire, trying a ball which was never on.
Given away by Walker. And now a chance here for Rodriguez into the penalty area, chips it across, and he's chipped it over both of his teammates inside the penalty area, drifted over Barcenas. Been some shaky moments for England defensively.
Nervous moments, yeah. And Harry Maguire said he'd give the ball away in the halfway line. They got to throw in, he took it quick, and Kyle Walker, just as well he was there.
Header forward for Panama by Roman Torres. He's winning his 110th cap this evening. Henderson plays it forward. The ball, though, was out of play over the touchline next to the England dugout before he did so. So it's
that was offside
ball against Sterling. Gareth Southgate just appeared. He is wearing the waistcoat again. No jacket, but a waistcoat. A waistcoat?
Superstition.
In these
Superstition.
That's what it is, do you think? Forward from Torres. Flick header on by Blas Perez, but it comes down and England have got the ball at the back. So if you just joined us, England, this match kicked off almost 12 minutes ago, and they're already in front through John Stones' first goal for England as he wins here his 28th cap, and it was a simple header in from 11 or 12 yards out from a corner from Trippier. So England score another goal from a corner. Henderson long and forward out towards Loftus-Cheek, who pulls away and tried to pull the ball out of the sky, and I suspect there actually he miscontrolled it behind for a goal kick. I suspect he might have been looking straight at the sun when he looked into the heavens.
I think that's what he'll say as well. Kyle Walker, just seeing a replay there, great clearance, because that was a certain tap in. But give Panama a bit of credit, they actually look very dangerous on the counter-attack. England, for all the 1-0 up, haven't settled yet.
1-0 England. Header won on the far side, the Panama left by Perez, who's pulled out towards the left flank. So much experience in this Panama side, but they've probably never experienced anything quite like this, or at least before they came to the World Cup. Already beaten 3-0 by Belgium, and now Panama taking on England, currently ranked number 12 in the world. Panama down in 55th in the FIFA World Rankings. Panama in possession, in the sunshine on the far side of the field, on the Volga River side of the stadium. Back it comes back to Fidel Escobar, who is going to hit a long pass straight into the path of Henderson, giving it away, and Henderson's first time pass through the middle for Harry Kane, who can't latch onto it, and goalkeeper Pinedo is able to come out and pick it up.
Did everything right, Henderson, didn't he? Maybe it's the heavily watered the pitch, maybe it just slipped on and went away from Harry Kane.
Kane's won it back from Torres. That was careless by Roman Torres, but then Kane is challenged and beaten by Murillo, who wins the ball back from the England captain, and eventually it's deflected out of play off Lingard for a throw into Panama inside their own half.
Good chance, John.
Chris, I'm going to stick my neck out and say I think there might be more goals in this one.
I wouldn't say you were sticking your neck out then.
No, my tongue was in my cheek.
Which end though?
Well, there could be more goals at both ends. Quarter of an hour played, very nearly, and it's England 1, Panama 0. Pinedo takes the free kick downfield for Panama. It's headed away. Comes out for Sterling, who's not yet been able to get into the game really, and he's picked up here for a foul on Eric Davis. So a free kick to Panama, a few yards inside the England half. It looks as though the stadium here is almost full, 45,000 capacity. And Torres, now Roman Torres, swings the ball out towards the left-hand side, towards Davis. And Davis will take it on, just a little ball in field towards Godoy. And now Davis again, up it goes towards Jose Luis Rodriguez. And now Panama keeping possession, but being forced by Henderson back towards the centre circle. So the ball is moved out to the right-hand side for Panama as they play from left to right. And now Armando Cupa, little ball to Godoy. Murillo again. This is good possession from Panama. England just standing off them, and Murillo does well to go around Ashley Young, and Murillo takes it on and plays it into a central position. A curling shot from the central area from Barcenas on his left foot that was only a yard wide.
I've got to say, playing what, 15 minutes, and they look the better side overall. I mean, England have had a score from a set piece, but in general play, they've got down the flanks on 3 or 4 occasions, and that was a great effort. Left foot, 25 yards bent in. I don't think Pickford would have got near it. Luckily enough, it went outside the post.
Were it not for John Stones' headed goal for England, this would have been a concerning start for England. England bringing it out from the back. Stones passes it forward. It finds its way to Lingard. Strong challenge comes in on Lingard, but he managed to evade it. And then Sterling deflects the ball into Torres' midriff. He's gone down in some pain, actually, and has stayed down. And England win the ball back. Henderson gives it to Young. And I think the referee wants to stop play now to see how Torres is.
It's funny that, isn't it? We'll see. I'm sure he'll be all right. When Panama had the ball, they didn't put the ball out, and as soon as England won it off them, it's like, put it out, you're out of order. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Just saw a replay. There's no contact. I think he's kicked the football.
Yeah, did he just catch his ankle bone? I'm not sure. Anyway, he's down, and England are taking the opportunity, the England players, to come across and have a drink here. The water bottles are being provided for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 England players. Jordan Henderson now carries one over towards Harry Maguire. He's going to take one as well to Stones and Walker. And England have just got to have a think here. Gareth Southgate speaking to one or two.
I think he's got to up the tempo. It's very congested in that middle of the park. They're using the wing backs obviously as the width, but maybe people like Sterling, can they get sort of that, go and stand out wide for 10 minutes, just see what they do with the opposition, because he's basically playing as a second striker, and there's enough bodies around, but it's just frustrating. They're getting everybody behind the ball, but England aren't moving the ball quick enough, so they're causing their own problems.
England are leading Panama though by 1-0. And a stiflingly hot afternoon on what seems to be quite a dry pitch. By the way, in the final one-day international in the series, Australia 8 wickets down now. Last we heard they were 181 for 8. We'll get an update for you on that, but you can hear the ball-by-ball commentary over on 5 Live Sports Extra with Jonathan Agnew and the team. Jimmy Anderson is part of the team, Adam Gilchrist as well. That's on your digital radio or via BBC iPlayer radio. Lingard suggesting there that he's been pulled over off the ball. Looks towards the referee. England are in possession. Torres is back on the field for Panama with his mane of dreadlocks. He could be the strongest looking outfield player at this World Cup. He has thighs that are the size of tree trunks. The ball with England on the halfway line. Maguire 10 yards inside Panama territory, and then Maguire turns after receiving the ball back from Young, gives it to the goal scorer Stones to his right. Walker tries to hit a long pass towards Trippier, but he's overhit that, and it drifts out of play for a throw-in to Panama. No, it's rather disjointed from England still, Chris, with nearly 20 minutes played.
Well, they're going to get more joy on the flanks. They are down the middle. They've packed the middle of the 3 in the back. The 2 full-backs are quite narrow. You need width, and obviously they're getting it from the wing-backs, but Raheem Sterling's not getting any joy now. It's up to him to find some space, and it may just be standing wide for 10 minutes gives him that joy.
Yeah, but at the moment he is central, just behind Harry Kane in the England front line, but the ball was with the back line at the moment. Walker rolls it up towards Kane, who drops deep. Then a touch from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who started mainly on the right side, incidentally, Loftus-Cheek, but then Trippier with the ball into Lingard inside the penalty area. 2 defenders come across, down goes Lingard. He was sandwiched. It's a penalty to England. Torres came across. The other central defender, Escobar, was there as well. They caught Lingard between them. It's a penalty.
Well, Lingard is brilliant at making runs in behind. We saw in the first game. There's 2 of them, Escobar, Torres round him. He's gone to ground, and the referees give it. I don't know if they're going to use VAR, but there's pushing and shoving, and they'll think they're being hardly done by. He's gone down quite easily, to be honest, but he makes a great run in behind. That's what he's good at.
Well, they're checking. VAR is actually checking for possible offside leading up to the penalty. See, I don't think that as a penalty would be overturned. I think they'd go with the referee's call on that as a penalty. But it depends whether there was an offside in the build-up. So we're waiting here for that to be checked. We're not seeing the pictures. Right, now we've got the pictures. It was Trippier's ball to Lingard. I think Lingard was onside there as he took it into the box, into the 6-yard box when he was fouled. Let's see what the referee's going to do here.
Nice, give it.
Yep, the penalty, I think, has been given. We've not seen it on the screen yet. It's not been confirmed on the screen, but the Panama players are being sent away. Torres is walking towards the Egyptian referee with his palms apart, but he's telling them they need to leave the penalty area, the Panama players. And Harry Kane now has, yep, the check is over, that's confirmed. So Harry Kane now has a chance to put England into a 2-0 lead from the penalty spot. Actually, one of the Panama players, the highly experienced Gabriel Gomez, is now going across and talking to Harry Kane, who just looks over his shoulder at him as if he was one of those flies from Volgograd and ignores him. And now there's some pushing and shoving.
What's the goalie doing?
On the edge of the area. The goalkeeper's standing, leaning against the post, a little like the way that Neville Southall used to.
But I don't think he'll save it from there, will he?
I wouldn't have thought so. I would describe that as an open invitation. Kane's putting the ball on the spot. It's all calmed down on the edge of the area. Kane is ready to take it. The goalkeeper, Pinedo, is still leaning against the post. And now finally he walks over and is ready to face the penalty from Harry Kane. Harry Kane from the spot drives it high into the net, and it's 2-0 to England, and Harry Kane yet again scores, having started as captain of England. 2-0 against Panama.
Well, you don't say them, do you? He puts so much power into that top corner. Goalie's right. Absolutely no chance. Well struck. Excellent pen. Wow.
That was hit with some force. And actually, we're just seeing at the replay from the camera, and Kane hit it right towards the camera. I mean, it was past the goalkeeper Pinedo before he could blink.
You'd have to put it in slow motion. That it was hit that hard.
And it is 2-0 to England here, and Harry Kane, that makes it 3 goals for Kane here at this World Cup. He's scored 9 goals in the 7 matches in which he has captained England. That is 11 in his last 9 England appearances. It means that he's scored in 5 consecutive England matches now, and just for one more, it is a total of 16 in 26 appearances for Harry Kane in an England shirt. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek has just fouled Rodriguez, and a yellow card for Loftus-Cheek, who has not particularly settled on his first competitive start for England.
He's given a couple of free kicks away, and that was his last chance. The referee's booked him.
The news from back home at Old Trafford: Australia 205 all out, actually in just 34.4 overs. So England obviously will need 206 to win in their 50 in order to make it a 5-0 series whitewash. You can hear that over on 5 Live Sports Extra right now. But Harry Kane scoring from the penalty spot to make it 2-0, and England, despite the way that they've played, which hasn't been terribly impressive, are now in total control.
No, not total control. I think Panama had a few half chances on the counter-attack, but they can't defend. They've given 2 set piece and then a silly pen they've given away. I mean, what chance you got if you give gifting goals?
So 2-0 to England here, and England on course, on their way to a place in the last 16 with 1 match to spare. 4 years ago, remember, England were out after having played 2 matches. Mind you, there, as you'll remember, they were playing Italy and Uruguay. Here England have had to play against Tunisia and Panama, but that's the luck of the draw. Roy Hodgson, I'm sure, will be looking at this and thinking, if only my England team had Tunisia and Panama to play in those first 2 matches in Brazil. Here's Henderson playing it across towards Kyle Walker. Walker pings one of those diagonal passes towards Lingard, who latches onto this inside the penalty area, but it just ran away from over the dead ball line, and it's a goal kick to Panama. Chris Waddle.
Well, they've got that much time on the ball, England now, and a lot of Panama players are thinking, how many is this going to be? You know, they're working quite hard. They give silly free kicks away all the time. They've gifted England 2 goals, and you've got to say England didn't really start very well. They looked nervous, they were sloppy, didn't play quick enough, and they've been gifted 2 goals, so now they can relax and look after the ball.
Free kick to Panama, halfway inside their own half. It's chipped out towards the left-hand side to Eric Davis, who plays his football in Slovakia. He was voted into the Slovakian League Team of the Season. He plays for Dunajska Streda in Slovakia, and now he's playing in the World Cup for Panama. That very much is the world game, isn't it? England take the goal kick out towards Harry Maguire, now towards Ashley Young. Ashley Young, at the age of 32, playing in the World Cup for the first time. Playing the ball across now. Kyle Walker in possession. Walker shuffled forward with it, but then went square to John Stones. And now Jesse Lingard back to Walker again. First time touch to Henderson. And now once again Kyle Walker takes it on a few more yards. Gives a little ball into Harry Kane. Stunned pass back to Henderson. Ball lifted over the top to Sterling, who shakes off the defender, but the offside flag was up against Raheem Sterling. Free kick Panama.
Big talking point, Raheem Sterling coming into the game, wasn't it? Will it be Rashford? He's not got into the game at all. He's been caught offside 2 or 3 times. Silly fouls to give away a couple. Very frustrating for him at the moment.
That's Chris Waddle, played in the World Cup when England reached the quarter-finals in Mexico, played in the World Cup when England reached the semi-finals in Italy. And at half-time, back in the studio near Red Square with Mark Chapman, we'll hear from the 1990 World Cup captain Terry Butcher and Chris Sutton as well. And then there will be 6:06 following this match when Kelly Cates will take the reins with Terry and Chris Sutton, and we'll let you know when the lines are open for that during the course of the second half. Long ball forward towards Sterling, but beaten in the air by a combination of Escobar and Torres. Goalkeeper Pinedo. It was odd, wasn't it, the way that Pinedo prepared to face the Harry Kane penalty. Not sure I've ever seen anything like that.
9 games.
Well, they didn't work.
And Harry won that.
They certainly did. That was Harry's game. England 2, Panama 0. Or as they say here in Russia, Gary. We've learned that the word Harry is pronounced in Russia like Gary. So they talk about Gary Potter and Prince Gary. So Harry, or Gary Kane, has given England a 2-0 lead. And here's Davis on the left-hand side. Davis swirls a long ball into the D on the edge of the England box, but John Stones is there in position to head it away. Comes out to Rodriguez. He turns, all full of busy and hustle and bustle. Then it's taken over by Godoy. Davis. This is good from Panama again, playing the ball inside the England half. A series of little passes at close quarters with the England players just standing off, and then it goes back towards the halfway line, where Gomez will play it back into his own half. 2-0 England, if you've just joined us on 5 Live on this Sunday afternoon, wherever you are. And here is Murillo with the ball on the right-hand side. Infield towards Barcenas. Barcenas receives it back and plays it out towards the left-hand side, where Gabriel Gomez playing in this very deep-lying position, the highly experienced Gabriel Gomez, the player who's played more times for Panama than anyone else over the course of their footballing history. And now it's stabbed forward by Davis, off Trippier, out of play for a throw into Panama, halfway inside the England half.
It's good play by Panama, just keeping the ball, but you can say it's good play by England. They're saving their energy, they're 2-0 up, they don't have to go chase, and they've got a good shape at the minute, they can't get behind them.
Which is exactly what Gareth Southgate will have wanted from this game. To get into a lead, they've got a 2-goal lead, and now able to, whatever extent they can, conserve their energy. But Panama in possession, playing the ball on the edge of the box, and it's slipped through now. That took a deflection into the path of Rodriguez, who goes for glory from the tightest of angles, and he slashes it wide over the bar with 2 of his teammates waiting in the middle. Blas Perez there, the experienced striker, says to him, "Why didn't you just put it on my head?"
Well, it's not just that. I think you find a lot of countries now have improved, organisation-wise and defensively and shape. But that final third's so important when you can't score goals. And you can see Panama, for all some of the approach plays nice, they do not look like scoring goals.
And as well, I think there's an element, as I said, from those journalists from Panama who I was speaking to here yesterday, that the whole country wants them to score a goal. And I suspect the players will know that as well. The players will think that. They want to get a goal. And if they can get a goal against England at this World Cup, and as a result of that, there's a certain frenzy, I think, when they get into the England defensive third. And they've lost their heads a couple of times already in that position. That opportunity that Godoy had inside the penalty area when it was still 0-0. That was a great chance to give Panama the lead. And he hit it badly wide. So here's Trippier on the right-hand side. Curling ball towards Sterling. Sterling now round the defender, but Pinedo, the goalkeeper, comes out and is able to slide out on his side and gather the ball.
Not even just playing a very slow tempo, but the teams Panama's got the ball, good possession. But they're not hurting, they're playing in front of England. So, a lot of people like to see England turn around, get the ball back, get it forward quick. Very hot day in England at the minute. I'm managing the game very well.
And there's a shove in the back of Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek, who's come into the side to replace Dele Alli, has not had the best opening half hour. Raheem Sterling, who kept his place, simply hasn't seen enough of the ball. Here's Ashley Young. There was some talk that Rose might come in. I think it was always likely that Gareth Southgate would stick with Ashley Young, and so he has. Here's Walker now playing it up towards Sterling, who tries to find a little bit of space. Two Panama players come in either side of him, and he's tripped as he played the ball forward, and it's a free kick to England, just forward and right of the centre circle.
Another set piece. For me, get it in the box, because they don't need to roll it short. Get the centre halves up, get a delivery in there.
Harry Kane prowling menacingly in the D, walks across. The free kick in a good position for Trippier, just to drop it in behind the back line. Kane's actually made a move out towards the right hand side, maybe looking to pick up the pieces after the ball's played to the back post to one of the central defenders. Stones and Maguire are both up there. Loftus-Cheek too. Trippier does deliver it into the back post. Maguire heads it across, and it lands on the roof of the net. Goal kick. 2-0 England.
Yep. Every set piece England get. I know you're tempted at times to think of something different, maybe just keep the ball rolling short, but why? England are so powerful in the air. Maguire was very unlucky. He heads it back across the goal, but unfortunately drops on top of the net instead in the top corner.
This is BBC 5 Live. Every match here at this World Cup, whenever there's a match on, you'll be able to hear commentary from us here at BBC Radio, whether it's on 5 Live, on Sports Extra, whether it's via the website, you will be able to hear it. And also, I believe we're being listened to by broadcasters in Canada during the course of this World Cup, so it's very good to have you with us as well. That goal that Harry Kane has scored from the penalty spot here means he's obviously now scored 3 goals in the group stages of the World Cup. That's not been done for England since Gary Lineker back in 1986 in one of the World Cups that you played in, where, as we heard before the game, Gary Lineker really made his name, really took that step onto the world stage, and that of course is what Harry Kane is attempting to do here. I mean, he's already a world player, he is already, feared as one of the best strikers in the world, but to score goals in a World Cup finals, Chris, is so important, isn't it, in a player's
confidence,
reputation.
John, so important. So for England as well, and you want your number 9, whoever it is, that main striker, to be putting the ball in the back of the net.
Harry Kane now 16 goals in 26 appearances for England, which is a very good record. 2-0 England, and the sun, probably a lone cloud has passed in front of the sun, which has just disappeared for a moment or two. They'll be back though, take my word for that. As Trippier plays the ball back halfway into his own half, just over 10 minutes to go to half time. We will have quite a deal of time to be added on at the end of this first half for the lengthy stoppages. We've had a couple of VARs. We've had the injury to Lingard. Henderson now sweeping a ball down the left flank. Young will do well to keep this in. He has kept it in. He'll do well to stop it from going out for a throw-in. He's failed to keep it from going out for a throw-in. It's a throw-in.
Well, every time a wing-back makes a run forward, there's nobody tracks him, and because the full-backs, the wing-backs have been tucked in, the wingers ahead of them do not want to run with Young or Trippier, so that ball is on all the time. Once you're going to go wide, you'll get a lot of joy.
So the throw-in to be taken by Murillo with the bleach blonde top to his hair. Throws it up towards free kick conceded by Stones for his challenge from behind on Barcenas. Davis has it on the left-hand side. Here's Rodriguez. There's been a run being made by Anibal Godoy. Godoy plays it forward just as Loftus-Cheek comes in with the challenge. He goes down. The ball's played forward, and the referee says no free kick.
Loftus-Cheek had to time that spot on, because if not, it would have been a second yellow, I think.
He's looked a little nervous. I really don't think that the pitch surface is helping the match in terms of the fact that it looks a little sticky, as many of the pitches here have done. But 2-0 to England, and you know that the conversation is going to be, once England get these 3 points in the bag, over how many changes should be made for the Belgium game. How many changes will Belgium make? How important is it to finish first or second in the group? But for Gareth Southgate, you have to continue to be professional about it and think, first of all, we need to finish the job here against Panama. They've pretty much got it done, you would think. 2 goals up on a team like this. 1 more goal would put it beyond doubt. Here's Young, infield towards Lingard. Lingard with a little ball now to Sterling. Sterling back to Lingard. This is nice. Lingard with a curling shot. That's wonderful. That's a super goal for England from Jesse Lingard. 3-0, England out of sight, and we've still got well over a half of football to play here in Nizhny Novgorod. England 3, Panama 0.
That was a class goal by Jesse Lingard, wasn't it? Picks it up, change of pace, bit of energy, ups the tempo, 1-2. What a finish, inside the foot. Him and Sterling link up brilliant. He just uses a defender to bend it round him, and he just bends it round him. Great angle, goalkeeper cannot get anywhere near it. Scrapes it, just hits the underside of the bar and into the net. What a goal by Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard gets the feeling of scoring a goal at the World Cup finals for the very first time, and it's 3-0. Lovely finish, lovely build-up. They picked their way really through the Panama players in red, and in the end the curling shot from the edge of the penalty area, there was nothing that Pinedo could do about it. So England 3, Panama 0, and still probably 10 minutes and more to play in this first half.
Well, let's be honest, Panama have given them a game in spells, but they can't defend. We've saw that already, especially set pieces. But in that case, that was just a very good goal, and that would be a good goal against anybody. Lovely 1-2 with Sterling, and what a finish. Uses a defender, as I said. That gives them the angle to bend it around him. Great finish, and it's game over now. It's just how many England want to score.
And Sterling very much played his part in that goal. That'll maybe settle him a little. Played a really important part. That was Manchester City and Manchester United combined for England. Ball played into the penalty area, but straight at Stones, who was able to turn and clear it away. Now Jordan Henderson has space inside his own half. Little touch from the man who's just scored that goal, Jesse Lingard, but it breaks down between Lingard and Henderson. And now Barcenas plays it to the left-hand side. Rodriguez is there, the left winger. Rodriguez taking on Trippier, pulls it back onto his right foot, but uses his left, and it has support there. And Davis's ball in, takes a touch, Perez, but the touch wasn't enough to deflect it on goal, and it whizzes past the far post for a goal kick to England. 3-0.
To be fair, they can't defend, we know that, Panama, but going forward, they're not too bad. They've got a lot of movement, a lot of energy. It's that final third though, John, and when you get the 18-yard box, that's where the good teams put the ball in the back of net, and unfortunately Panama are not going to do that. So some of the approach play is okay, it's good on the eye, but you just can see they're not going to score goals.
1-0 in the 8th minute through John Stones' header, 2-0 in the 22nd. Harry Kane's penalty after Lingard was fouled, and Lingard himself scored the third in the 36th. So it's 3-0 to England, and another free kick is conceded by Panama. This is just about in the middle of the Panama half.
It's worth a hit with these modern day balls. They'll not give the ball back. No wonder they get booked in that. They're just silly, aren't they? Why don't they just give the ball back and go back? What they're trying to prove. So the 3-0 down. Look, they're arguing again. And Deputy see a red today, by the way. I'm not about their shirts neither.
Yeah. You're going for red card, yeah?
Yeah.
Red card for Panama. Okay. Only one of them's been booked so far. Cooper.
I don't know why Harry Kane doesn't hit this. He's got a terrific shot.
Well, that's what I said to you during the Tunisia game.
We've seen Trippier take 3 or 4 free kicks, and there's no pace on them. They've gone past the post or into the goalie's hands.
I'm not sure he was even a contender to take it. Free kick then, Trippier. Ashley Young's just standing in front of the ball. It's a 2-man Panama wall as opposed to canal. Trippier waiting to take it. Walker just comes up behind him. Panama have got everyone back behind the ball here, 3-0 down. And the referee is just saying there's some pushing and pulling on the edge of the area, I think on Loftus-Cheek. Or is it Kane? Anyway, it's taken short by Trippier. It's played over the top by Henderson. It's headed across. Oh, good save from Sterling, but it's finished off at the back post. John Stones has scored another one. 2-goal John Stones at the World Cup, and it's 4-0 to England before half-time.
By the way, John, every set piece, that was well worked, by the way. I've got to give them credit, England there. Oh, checking for possible offside, leading up to the goal.
So don't write it down. Well, it's too late, I have written it down, but I might need my Tipex pen here. England are celebrating, but VAR, it's the South African official, Danny Mackely, who is the...
He's off, Stones.
So he was offside initially. And the ball falls to him, and he heads it in the roof of the net from a couple of yards out.
I would think they'd give it,
because it's the next phase.
Yeah, next phase. So he was offside originally, but
says they're still checking on our screen here, but the players have gone back into position, and the referee is just waiting. And he is speaking, we can see, because he has his hand to his ear. He says don't kick off yet to Panama, because he's waiting for the final say-so from the video assistant referee. We're still waiting, and the Panama players are saying, why can't we kick off here? That's because the definitive final decision has not been made yet.
I think it's an interest not to kick off the way they're playing.
The Dutch video assistant referee, Danny Makely, is still looking at this. And the referee now on the field is explaining to the Panama players that this might be a ruling in your favour here. But no, it has been given. It is John Stones' goal, and it is England 4, Panama 0. And we've got 4 minutes plus plenty of added time.
By the way, well worked set piece. I've got to say it was great to watch the movement and the way they did it, and what's the training ground routine. As I say, England looks so strong at set pieces. They can win games on set pieces.
And just to explain again, Chris, the reason that was given, Stones was in an offside position when the free kick was taken over by Trippier, but they've considered that the play moved into a second phase before it made its way to Stones, who headed it in from close range.
Somebody played him on in the second phase, so that was why he got it. So it took a while to sort it out, but how many did England won?
John Stones.
What's the record score in a World Cup game?
Well, I think that was Hungary-El Salvador, wasn't it?
10-1.
In 82?
Well, look
82
out.
or something.
Look out, let's say if they won it.
In this heat, though, you'd think, but anyway, here they come again. And now the ball's played across for Lingard to hit a shot that strikes the back of a defender and takes it wide of goal for a corner to England.
And they started arguing a little bit among themselves now, Panama, and there's another set piece coming, and this could be another goal. They can't defend against them, and England are very good at them.
And that spells trouble for Panama. Well, everyone who got up 7 a.m. in the morning,
John Stones on a hat-trick
back in Panama, they might witness a John Stones hat-trick. That's something that I know for sure has never been seen at a World Cup before. It's a corner from the right then for England, and you know that there are definite signs here that the referee in this match, Gerhard Grisha, has taken note. FIFA have taken note, because he is very hot here on holding inside the penalty area, and he's making it very clear to the Panama players. The defender with Harry Kane has his arms around it but not holding it, and now Kane is being hauled over. Kane's being hauled over. Maguire heads it goalwards, and it's been caught, and the penalty's been given to England.
Well done
for the holding on Harry Kane. There we are, it's easy.
Well done, referee. About time.
The video assistant referee is being consulted, but the referee has given this. They are checking the foul. They're checking to see if it is a foul. I mean, the pictures we are being shown are Murillo on Stones, but it was, I mean, we could see with the naked eye it was Harry Kane who was being pulled over.
Look, Harry Kane. Now we're getting a benefit of a replay. Yeah, it is unbelievable. That's a tango, never mind a waltz.
Godoy was all over him, It's a penalty all day.
But the referees went up to them every corner and said, stop holding.
So a chance for Harry Kane to score another one and move alongside Messrs Ronaldo and Lukaku as the joint leading scorer at World Cup 2018. And this has been
the way the game's going. Harry Kane could get 5 or 6 today.
Yellow cards being shown in there as well to one of the Panama players. I think it's Escobar. That might have been something that he said. Now Torres, the captain, his fellow central defender, is complaining about that.
How long does this take for give him a red and get him off?
There must be 10 minutes of added time to play at the end of this first half. 10
minutes? Might as well play the whole half again. Show this, by the way.
Players are still milling around inside the penalty area. Wonder what the goalkeeper's going to do here after his laissez-faire approach to the first one.
Maybe does a handstand or
well,
something.
At the moment, he's actually standing 2 yards in front of Harry Kane. Again, he can't stay there.
And not save it from there, neither.
Harry Kane's putting the ball on the spot as if he wasn't there. Pinedo, I'm not sure if he's talking to Harry Kane. Kane stands up, looks at the referee. The referee's currently checking to see that the Panama players are outside the penalty area. The goalkeeper still standing next to Kane. Now turns away. He always spotted a little bit of rubbish on the ground in the 6-yard box.
Is it Monday yet?
Now Pinedo is back on the line, and we can see this penalty be taken. So this for Harry Kane's 4th goal at this World Cup. From the penalty spot, If it's as good as the last one, it'll be in the net. Here comes Kane. It is as good as the last one. It's 2 goals for Harry Kane today. It's 4 goals for Harry Kane at this World Cup. He's the joint leading scorer, and England are 5-0 up, and this really against Panama is too easy.
So easy. It's going to be a cricket score. Just saw him beat Australia. This is going to be the same score by the looks of it. Unbelievable. Every time they go forward, they're going to score. Unbelievable. What a pen again, by the way. How hard does he hit that? Wow.
England 5, Panama 0. And how much additional time have it? 2 minutes? 2 minutes?
No, he means 2 days.
It's not really, is it? Producer Gary's seen the board.
England go straight off this pitch and go on to the next pitch to play Belgium the way it's going.
Straight to Kaliningrad, do not pass Moscow. So it's 5-0 to England. We're almost at half-time, which is, and we have
Harry Maguire's down.
Oh, Harry Maguire's been caught there. It's a clash as he challenged for the ball.
Cooper
with Cooper,
who's been booked
already in this match. Cooper, I've got a feeling that was just a coming together, you know. Maguire turned.
No, he's bleeding.
Oh,
his lip.
So Cooper challenging, and he's caught by an arm. It's just a flailing. You're giving me
that is not a flailing, a frame, whatever you're saying. That is not a,
because his fist is clenched.
That is, yeah.
He's looking to catch the opponent.
He's telling him to go off the pitch. No, he said, I'm not going off. He said, OK, stay on.
Well, we've already played these laughable 2 minutes of added time that have been indicated at the end of the first half. Maguire is spitting down on the pitch. I don't know if there is a little bit of blood there or not, but he doesn't have to go off the field. And Torres as well. Torres put his head into Harry Maguire's head. This was in the aftermath of that, when they were standing up and everyone was milling around talking about it. I think the heads did touch, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the video referee can look at that. I mean, you can check red card offences.
Oh.
So presumably they'll see that in the Moscow bunker. But if it gets to half-time and no action has been taken, they can't go back to that, incidentally. So the scoreline here, BBC Radio 5 Live, England's second match at this World Cup. They're on their way through. They're on their way to victory. It's 5-0. And really, the second half here is going to be a procession, which is exactly, and there is the half-time whistle. We played precisely 3 minutes of time at the end of the first half. But that is exactly what Gareth Southgate will have wanted in the first half here, because the game's out of sight. In these stiflingly hot conditions, England really should just now manage it to the final whistle in the second half.
Well done, England. You've got to say they've managed the game well. Every set piece, every time they went forward, they think they're going to score. It's how many they want to score now. Actually, the Panama team and the squad are getting together in the centre circle without the manager, and they're having a meeting.
The whole team and the substitutes are going across there as well. The England players are now leaving the field and the substitutes are coming on, but the Panama team has stayed out on the pitch in the centre circle, and there's no sign of Hernan Dario Gomez. Yes, there he is actually. He's standing on the edge of his coaching area with his hands on his hips, as if to say, what are you doing? And now the players turn, having called the substitutes out. Let's just see what the interaction is like with Coach Gomez as they walk past him. 5-0 down at half-time, Panama. They walk past him without too much of a reaction from either party. I think that's going to be an interesting Panama dressing room at half-time.
I don't know, John, if he's going to follow them in. He's just standing looking at them, and nobody's looking at him as they walk past him. He's just stood in the... He's starting slowly to walk behind him. I don't think he's going to go in.
He's now talking to some of his staff there. This is the Colombian coach of Panama. The players have now disappeared from our sight into the blue tunnel, and the Panama coach is still standing out there with his coaching assistant. So we'll just keep an eye on him as we return you to our studio in Red Square in Moscow, where Mark Chapman and Terry Butcher and Chris Sutton are waiting for us with a scoreline of England 5, Panama 0 at half-time. Well, you said, Mark, there, one of our listeners got in touch saying it could be a record score. it is going to be a record score. Believe it or not, England's biggest win that they've ever had at a World Cup finals tournament as the second half gets underway here in Nizhny Novgorod is by 3 goals, 3-0 wins. They've had 3 of those, Poland 86, Paraguay in 86, and then 2002 in the last 16 against Denmark. So it will be a record victory for England at a World Cup finals tournament that we're going to see here, barring a comeback from Panama that I think would be fanciful to suggest might happen. And it is also the first time that England have scored 3 goals in a match at a World Cup since 2002. So we are underway in the second half. No changes for either side, and we saw pictures from the tunnel on our screens here of the Panama players coming out, and there seemed to be a certain amount of disgruntlement, Chris Waddle, as they did so.
Mutiny.
Mutiny.
There was, you could say they were all talking about what the coach must have said, whether they agreed or not. They were all saying the wrong thing. Half of them weren't listening in the tunnel to each other. They look very despondent, and it's up to England. Yeah, all they need to do is get set pieces more than anything.
That's Chris Waddle with us on BBC Radio 5 Live at the World Cup here in Russia, and we are watching Jesse Lingard coming forward for England. I will run you through those teams. England making just the one change, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek taking the place of Dele Alli. But England in possession with Kyle Walker. Walker, I did wonder whether he might come out because he's on a yellow card. But the ball is played through now for Harry Kane, left side of the penalty area, who's got away from Torres but is forced wide, and Kane then plays it back towards Ashley Young. England playing from left to right as we look from up here high on the dressing room side. The ball slipped into Sterling. Sterling angles it across towards Loftus-Cheek, but the defender Davis was able to come in and just get there ahead of Loftus-Cheek. So England start again from near the halfway line. Pickford's in goal. Walker, Stones and Maguire are the central defenders. Trippier and Young are the wing backs. Henderson, Lingard and Loftus-Cheek in midfield, with Sterling behind Harry Kane. And the Panama team with Pinedo in goal, Murillo, Roman Torres, Escobar and Davis, the back 4. Gomez in the centre of midfield with Cooper and Godoy either side of him. Barcenas on the right, Rodriguez on the left, and Perez up front. And Panama in the all-red kit with the white numbers and the white trim are in possession inside their own half. England first choice kits for this one, white shirts, blue shorts and white socks. And Rodriguez loses possession, so Loftus-Cheek turns it back infield towards Trippier. In fact, Henderson gets there first with a pass to Kane, who flips it over the top for Sterling, but the header's won by Escobar on the edge of the penalty area, and Panama will look to pass the ball away from the back again. A number of the substitutes are warming up down there, but they are Panama substitutes. No immediate sign of a change for England. Perez pulls the ball down on the halfway line and plays it centrally to Godoy. Now it's out to Barcenas on the right hand side, who's cutting infield. He's waiting for support from the outside from Murillo, and then plays the ball in, which is nowhere near Cooper inside the penalty area. It just runs through to Pickford.
Well, there again, get some good football by Panama to get to the 18-yard line and again run out of ideas.
Kane plays it through for Sterling. Sterling's onside. Goalkeeper comes out and makes a tackle on Sterling on the edge of the penalty area, just outside the box. And a good tackle it was as well.
A strong challenge by the keeper, isn't it? And Sterling's just got up now, but you've got to watch Loftus-Cheek as well. He's on a yellow, so any silly challenge, anything late, they've got to monitor that as well. But it's how many goals England want to score.
Yeah, Loftus-Cheek has been yellow carded in this game. Walker's on a yellow card from the first match in terms of a suspension for the Belgium game. But England leading Panama by 5 goals to 0. We're live here in Nizhny Novgorod on BBC Radio 5 Live. The lines for 606 are open now. 08085 909 693 to talk about this performance to Kelly Cates, who will be hosting the programme from our Red Square studio with Chris Sutton and Terry Butcher. So get in touch at 5 Live Sport or at BBC 606 on your social media. You can text on 85058. The lines are open for 606, with England heading for a record score at a World Cup finals for them. They are 5-0 up on Panama with 2 goals from Stones, 2 goals from Kane, both penalties, and 1 from Jesse Lingard, which was the pick of the goals. And England defending at the moment with Lingard. The ball bounces away from him though. Perez tries to play it through the England back line. There's a little bit of hesitation between Walker and Trippier, but Walker runs away with the ball into the full-back position. And as he pulls it back, the challenge came in and he pulled it back behind the dead ball line. So Panama have their first corner.
Yeah, he could have played it away. Kyle Walker tried a little drag back there, a little turn, and it's just run out of play. And England, as I say, not good at set pieces in both boxes. So,
Chris, I'll ask you what the correct approach should be, the professional approach for England in this second half. Bear in mind,
don't get sloppy. Don't get sloppy. Keep the tempo right. Move the ball when you have to.
Don't answer it yet. Corner from the left-hand side for Panama. It's flicked on at the near post, but it's headed away at the back post for England by Walker, and England will break away on the counter-attack as Henderson is challenged by from both sides by a combination of Davis and Rodriguez, and now here is Rodriguez on the left, but he can't keep the ball in, and it's a throw-in for England deep inside their own half. Point being, looking further ahead. Obviously, England want to progress in this tournament. Do you just keep it steady performance in the second half, just play the game out?
Don't get risk, don't take liberties, don't get injuries. Just keep the ball moving. Do what you did first half, really, and if you get set pieces, put it in there. They're easy goals, the gifts. So just keep the ball moving, don't get sloppy, don't concede, and don't let people say, well, what happened to them second half? See the game through, manage it.
5 Live Sport, England leading Panama by 5-0. The cricket is over on 5 Live Sports Extra, with England now attempting to overhaul the Australian total. I think it was 206 England needed to win from the 50 overs. You can hear the commentary over on 5 Live Sports Extra, and a little later on the French Grand Prix, which will be on the BBC Sport website from around about 3:10 UK time. It's been a very full weekend of sport on 5 Live. Over 40 hours of live sport we're bringing you over the course of this weekend alone. And we have Japan-Senegal to come next from 4 o'clock. That'll be from the BBC studio with Ian Brown and Leon Osman. And then live from the stadium in Kazan tonight from 7 o'clock, Poland against Colombia with Dion Dublin and Conor McNamara. But England leading Panama by 5-0, and the ball in the central third of the field. No further goals yet in the second half. Trippier on the overlap with Loftus-Cheek in possession. He's been stationed mainly over on the right-hand side, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Lingard has had a freer role. Lingard in the orange boots, playing the ball back towards the halfway line to Stones. And now Jordan Henderson finds Trippier on the right-hand side. We have 2 England players on a hat-trick, Harry Kane and John Stones. And there have only ever been 2 England hat-tricks scored at a World Cup finals. You'll probably know one of them, you might know both of them. Jeff Hurst in the final in 1966 and Gary Lineker when Chris was playing in 86. So there's a chance for history for them too. Here's Loftus-Cheek into the penalty area, but Fidel Escobar puts in the challenge, and it's behind for a corner to England from the right. So danger, Panama.
Set piece, see if they're going to hold them again. The referee's warned them.
If they wrestle Harry Kane again here and concede another penalty, surely they won't.
It looks like he's going to do it anyway. Look, he's doing it again.
It's Godoy again.
Yeah,
Godoy, who conceded the last penalty on Kane. And the referee actually walks across and says to Godoy, look, I've already given 1 penalty against you for wrestling down Harry Kane. Don't do it, or I'll give a penalty.
He's doing it.
He's standing right next to him with his arms out wide. And Kane is standing in front of him. And now Godoy, as the ball's played in from the corner, and it's cleared away by Panama just outside of their own penalty area. He did slightly change his approach, Godoy, there.
Slightly. Yeah, he only had one on this time. But listen, if the referee keeps giving them, and that's the rules, give them. It's the only way you learn.
Yep, totally agree. Walker playing the ball to Young, and then back to Stones. I mentioned Walker. There was a bit of walking football there from England, and I think that might be the order of the day in the second half for large parts, with the win, the points, the qualification for the last 16 already secure for Gareth Southgate's team. And as we've mentioned, the issue of goal difference obviously comes into this now, with Belgium having a goal difference coming into this match of +6. England now also have a goal difference of +6. Ball played for Trippier down the right, but he won't reach that, and it bounces through into the advertising hoardings.
It's hard for England to get the tempo back up, and simply because it's too easy for them. It's so easy at the minute. They can do what they want with the ball. and it's become a little bit slow.
And so Pinedo has this goal kick from down to our right, deep into the England half, where it's headed forward by Kyle Walker. Bounces back though, and will be taken on through the middle by Cooper. Now back to the right hand side, where Godoy thought about the ball into the penalty area, instead turns and gives it out to the right hand side to Murillo, who plays in America, as a number of these Panama players do. Murillo plays for New York Red Bulls in the MLS. Here they come, Panama again with a deep cross. Trippier gets his head to it at the back post, and then a follow-up header from the England right wing back to nod it out of play for a throw-in that Davis, the number 15, arrives to take, level with the edge of the England penalty area. It's 5 live, England leading Panama by 5-0. Throw-in taken short by Davis, and then Rodriguez is all over the back of Trippier, and it's a free kick to England in their right back position.
Well, face of the game's completely gone, hasn't it? It's a warm day, and England have won the game quite comfortably in the first half, so it's just a matter of playing it out. Don't get injuries, no silly bookings. If you get your chance, obviously take it, but
if you're out and about back home on this Sunday afternoon, which may well be sunny where you are, can't be hotter than it is here in Nizhny Novgorod, but the match is on BBC One when you get back in, and you can continue to listen to the 5 Live commentary if you press the red button on your remote control. Ball played forward for Sterling to chase. He's up against Escobar, but a little tug by Sterling, or was that the offside?
Just a bit of a tug, I think, wasn't it? He's quick, Escobar, though. He ran Sterling there.
Well, he's the quicker one of the two. Of the central defenders, the Panama reporters that I was speaking to yesterday pointed to Escobar and Torres, who are the two central defenders. As I've said, Roman Torres is extremely well built, and they said to me, Escobar, he's quick. Torres, not so quick. England bringing the ball back with Loftus-Cheek just inside the Panama half. Loftus-Cheek just drifts away from Godoy. Now Harry Kane centrally plays it out to the right hand side. Trippier come back from an offside position. That was a little careless, and Trippier rolls the ball away with his foot. You do not want to pick up a cheap yellow card for that in these circumstances. Free kick that Panama will take through Fidel Escobar. Be a great disappointment, this. Obviously it means that Panama will be out, as are Tunisia already, with a scoreline like this, with Belgium and England taking maximum points from their first 2 matches. But the final match in the group between Panama and Tunisia, that will be a cause of great pride for these two sides that we've seen already at this World Cup. Tunisia having not played at the World Cup for some while. Panama involved in their very first World Cup, and I'm sure the target there will be to get the win, score some goals, but they will be heading home after the knockout stage, whereas England will be heading through to the last 16, depending on what happens in that game against Belgium in Kaliningrad, which is on Thursday, by the way, 7 o'clock UK time, back to an evening kick-off for England on Thursday night. You will be able to hear it here with us on BBC Radio 5 Live from way out to the west of Russia, the most westerly venue. England in possession inside the Panama half with Maguire. Little ball forward towards Sterling. The challenge comes in from Murillo, and then Sterling concedes a free kick. Gareth Southgate's shown faith with Raheem Sterling, and although he has been involved in some of the goals, I would say his overall play, it hasn't really happened for him.
No, I'm saying that as well. Yes, he's had a little bit of moments to link up with Lingard for Lingard's great goal, but the odd bit, we're talking a little bit here, and it hasn't happened again for him to me.
And now it's the easiest thing in the world, really, in these circumstances, for Gareth Southgate to say to him, right, I am going to make changes for the match against Belgium, and you would expect that Rashford for Sterling would be one of them. We will perhaps see Rashford, of course, before the end of this game, as Murillo crosses into the edge of the England penalty area, but it's cleared away. Actually, it's Panama who are going to make the first change, as they win a free kick, but they take it quickly, so it won't happen just yet. Murillo gives it to Barcenas on the right hand side. Barcenas plays it infield. Godoy is there. Godoy then back to Gabriel Gomez, who swings a pass to the left hand side, where Davis eventually gets the ball under control. The youngster Rodriguez came into this World Cup as a teenager, but he's just turned 20. Jose Luis Rodriguez now plays it back towards the centre circle. Chipped by Escobar out to Murillo on the right hand side. England are just allowing Panama to have possession inside their half. Now eventually they move it further forward towards the edge of the box. Godoy with a touch. Godoy and Perez run into one another, but Perez plays it out to the right-hand side to Murillo. Here's the cross, but it's into the backside of Henderson, who'd come across, and Panama have to go all the way back into their own half. They are still waiting to bring on Ricardo Avila, but England have won the ball back, and England now have options as it's played out to the right-hand side to Loftus-Cheek. Rather laboured step over from Loftus-Cheek, and John Stones, who brought the ball out, just prods it back into his own half. Looks like, according to Rachel Burden, who's down behind the goal in front of many of the England supporters in the stand, it looks like Delph and Vardy might be getting their opportunity to come onto the pitch. And actually, just as I say that, I see them both emerge from underneath the roof of the England dugout. So this will be a first appearance at the World Cup for both Jamie Vardy and Fabian Delph. England 5, Panama 0 is the score. The scorers: John Stones with 2, Harry Kane with 2 penalties, which means he's the joint leading scorer at this World Cup now, with Ronaldo and Lukaku, and Lingard with the pick of the goals. Here is Loftus-Cheek. He's on his left foot. He shoots. Oh, it's deflected in! It hit Harry Kane and is deflected past a helpless Jaime Pinedo into the back of the Panama net, and it is 6-0. The question is that Harry Kane's hat-trick, or is it a first goal for England for Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
Well, I'm going to go Harry Kane. Hat-trick, as he hits it. He's offside, by the way, if it is his.
And actually VAR are checking it.
He's offside.
We've got the signal. They are checking for offside in the build-up to the goal. So I think that is going to be ruled out.
He's offside.
They're going to make the change. Meanwhile, as we wait for the decision to be made, the players are coming back to the halfway line to get into position for kick-off. But we've not yet got the decision. And Godoy is coming off for Panama.
Give it.
To be replaced by Avila. And the check is over. And he does look offside on the pictures we have.
Yep. And he's going off now. What a time to go off. Score a hat-trick and walk off.
Wow. So has the goal been given? Yeah, the goal has been given. And it is Harry Kane's goal, and he becomes only the third man to score a hat-trick for England at a World Cup Finals tournament. And he is now the leading scorer at this tournament with 5. He didn't know much about the third one, but he is accepting it very gratefully, and he has been substituted, having recorded the hat-trick, and England lead Panama by 6-0.
Lingard off for Delph.
Panama have brought on Ricardo Avila, the 21-year-old who plays his football in Belgium with Ghent, the number 19. And England have made the 2 changes, so Vardy and Delph are on for their first taste of action at a World Cup, and they've taken the places of Kane, and Jesse Lingard as well is being taken off by England. So Vardy and Delph are into the action. Gareth Southgate has one more possible change that he could make, but it is now a record scoreline of 6-0 for England. Their biggest margin of victory, their biggest win ever at a World Cup Finals, as the ball's played back by Escobar to Pinedo, who miscontrolled it on the edge of the area. Sterling is still there, putting him under pressure, and as a result he was able to catch up with the ball and chip it out of play on the far side.
I've got to say, I'm taking nothing away with England. They've scored some great goals, set pieces a lot. They've done their job. They've been very professional, being good on that side. But how bad are Panama, by the way? I think I was doing them a favour when I said it was a Premier League against League One.
They've had a bad day, and England have taken advantage. England have been ruthless, and we have said that, haven't we, about putting teams away. I mean, we were talking about putting better teams than Panama away, but they have put them away. But at times you feel that they almost couldn't have failed to put them away. Henderson to Loftus-Cheek on the right-hand side. Loftus-Cheek now back to Jordan Henderson. Then Jordan Henderson plays a square ball behind everyone in a white shirt. Jordan Henderson, this would be a great opportunity for Henderson if he can to get his first goal for England. It's been a long time coming. Ball back with Murillo though, as Panama pass it out from the back, which they do up towards Cooper, who will miss their final match against Tunisia, having been yellow carded in this match. Keeps his feet and keeps possession and plays it now to Davis. Davis with a little flick. The Panama supporters have been undaunted by what's happened here. I think many of them were sort of fearing that this could happen, but 6-0 with still 25 minutes to play. We've got the list of World Cup record scores, and 7-0 would get England into the top 10. Here's Murillo on the right-hand side. It is 6-0 at the moment. Now Godoy plays it through. Murillo could be in here. Chips Pickford, and it's blocked inside the 6-yard box by a combination of Walker and Stones, and they volley it out of play on the far side.
Sloppy play, stayed down Murillo, but Pickford brave, gets at the feet of him, but that's sloppy play, letting him run in behind. Look, nobody goes with him. It's through ball. He's trying to lift it over Pickford. He gets a slight hand to it, and England clear the lines.
Checking for a possible penalty. I presume that's the way that Pickford came out there. The check is over. The referee has a look over his shoulder, but that's only because England are going to make their next change. And actually Danny Rose is going to come on, so we're not going to see Marcus Rashford today. In these circumstances, I think that's wise, don't you, Chris? Now with 6-0 up, to keep Rashford. Maybe already said to Rashford on the bench down there. Maybe already said to him before this game, I'm planning to start you against Belgium. So 6-0 to England. BBC Radio 5 Live. The one-day international continues over on 5 Live Sports Extra. The World Cup continues on 5 Live. The next match, Japan against Senegal, and then Poland against Colombia, 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock kickoffs. You'll hear both matches in full here on 5 Live. And we'll get an England score for you when we get a chance from Old Trafford. Panama are going to make their next 2 changes as well, so it looks as though we'll see Danny Rose coming on, and also a couple of Panamanian players too. At 6-0, with just the one further goal in the second half. Just have a feeling that they might look at that again. Oh, England are 50 for 5, chasing 206 to win. So 50 for 5. I'm not sure how many overs that is, but I'm not sure that's going to be a factor. So 6-0. Just being told how many overs? 14 overs. 50 for 5 after 14 overs. Murillo plays the ball back into his own half. The sun comes out brightly again on what is now late afternoon here in Nizhny Novgorod, as Davis plays it infield to Cooper. Cooper finds Fabian Delph in front of him, so turns and plays it back into his own half to the burly, brawny figure of Roman Torres, the captain of Panama. I think there'll be repercussions for Panama after this match, in terms of what happened at half-time, the players gathering together before they went off the field, the fact that they're 6-0 down, but they've just been outplayed. England have played around them here. The substitute, Avila, on the halfway line, plays it infield towards Murillo. And of course, with that 6th goal now, that means that England's goal difference is better than Belgium's. So currently, if it stays like this, England will be top of the group, and a draw would mean, against Belgium, would mean that England will top the group.
I think that's what Belgium want, isn't it?
Well, that's what Roberto Martinez says that he wants. Are you suggesting he had a hand in them? Right, first change is made, and it is going to be Barcenas who is replaced, and also coming off now is Gabriel Gomez. So this might be his final moment, because the expectation is that he will retire from international football after this World Cup. This is his 144th cap, and he's applauded off for the great service that he's given the team. Handshake from Hernan Dario Gomez, the coach, as well, as Gabriel Gomez takes his seat, and he's replaced by Felipe Baloy, who plays for Municipal in Guatemala. And he is onto the field.
Strange England substitution. Trippier's coming off, and Ashley Young's gone to right wing back.
Yeah, well, he can play there. We know that very well. So obviously, we know though, Chris, that Kieran Trippier is very highly valued by Gareth Southgate as a member of this England team. So he's taking no chances with Trippier. Doesn't want anything to happen to him. So as a result, Danny Rose is onto the field, and will be able to show Gareth Southgate what he can do in an attacking sense, as an attacking fullback, He's winning his 19th cap here, and he too is playing his first match for England at the World Cup finals. So England leading Panama by 6-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, and that's it in terms of the changes that Gareth Southgate can make. And as Chris Waddle said, Ashley Young has come across to play as the right wing back. England in possession inside Panama territory, although Harry Maguire just runs it back into his own half and gives it to John Stones, and Stones gets it back from Walker. Just have a feeling they'll look at that Harry Kane hat-trick goal again, you know. Just a wayward pass by Loftus-Cheek, so Walker has to run back into his own half. Because if the shot from Walker was from Loftus-Cheek was on target, if it was on target, which I have a feeling it was, that would be Loftus-Cheek's goal, certainly in terms of Premier League judgment. Walker plays the ball across the back line to Maguire, and now the ball is given back by Rose to Henderson. We've missed a very obvious line, I'm just thinking, by the way, if it is a hat-trick. Come on. Young playing it into the edge of the area, comes off Torres, and now the ball runs away, and it's played away by Godoy, who's able to clear it towards the halfway line. As Cooper rolls it into the centre to central defender Escobar, and now Murillo takes a heavy touch, and he's going to be dispossessed by Sterling. He is, and then he hacks down Sterling, who is away from him. That's going to be a yellow card, and it's a chance for another set piece to be delivered into the Panama penalty area.
Yep, another card. That's him missing the next game as well.
If that is a hat-trick for Harry Kane, it is, of course, for Harry Kane, a Panama.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I didn't want to say it. Because I thought about it and I thought, I'm not going to say that. We all say some bad ones, don't we? But I'm not.
I'm turning my back on you.
Okay.
Right, free kick. Young is going to take this in. There's no Harry Kane on the field anymore, so who's the target going to be? Or are Panama going to play it cleanly? One-man wall. Young waiting to take this. We've got a Mexican wave starting up, or is that a Panamanian wave? Young.
I've got a canal there, not we?
Yeah, the Los Canaleros, the canal men, are holding their line on the edge of the penalty area. Young flights the ball in towards the back post. Maguire heads it back across. There's a little touch from the head, and then it's back to Henderson, who sends his volley wide of the top corner. I thought he was on for his first goal.
Yeah, so did I. Good technique as well. He's not happy. He's actually thought that was going in. Another set piece. Maguire's so strong in the air, comes out and he gets his... Oh, it's great technique by him, just can't hit the target.
Jamie Vardy actually headed it back to Henderson, who was looking to do almost a Mark Hughes style volley from the edge of the area, but he pulled it just wide. So on this beautiful afternoon, absolutely gorgeous afternoon here in this part of Russia, we're actually about 4 hours on the train to the east of Moscow. We'll be going back there tomorrow. And Russia is the song that is being sung in the stadium here by the locals, and they are waving the flags of Russia all around the place and lifting them high. So a little bit of a local flavour from our friends in Nizhny Novgorod. Beautiful afternoon, as I say, it's at the confluence of these two rivers. There are loads of little islands. We took the cable car, didn't we, over the Volga yesterday, and as we did so, and actually for a few minutes, rather disconcertingly, it came to a stop, and it was very quiet as we hung about 100 feet above the Volga River, and we could only hear the wind. It's a little like being in Where Eagles Dare, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we wondered whether we might be still there now, but fortunately it got moving again. So we'd had Mark Chapman with us in there, can you imagine?
Panic stations.
Yeah, very much so. Here's Rose on the left-hand side for England. Murillo though wins it back from. Here's a ball over the top. Pickford's come a long way. He's chested it down on the edge of the penalty area, and he's been able to stab it out towards the right-hand side here, where Kyle Walker will give it to the now right wing-back, Ashley Young. We've got 15 minutes to play. England were 5-0 up at half-time. They're on the way to a record score. They're on the way to topping the group going into that final match with Belgium. And I'm sure Gareth Southgate will have to answer the question about how many changes he's going to make for the Belgian game, particularly given what Roberto Martinez said about his intentions yesterday. However, we will bring you those interviews with Gareth Southgate and the England players during the course of 6:06. The lines are open for that, but Panama are on the move down the left-hand side. That's what they want. They want to see their team score a goal. Rodriguez whips it across, and actually Danny Rose makes contact with it. It hits the corner flag, and it goes out for a corner to Panama.
Well, they've not looked threatening in any set piece at all, have they? In England doing very well, but it was a good race that down that left-hand side, wasn't it? Rodriguez giving Kyle Walker a good run for his money.
The attendance 43,319 inside this very attractive, it's actually possibly the most attractive stadium that we've been to yet. Corner for Panama, in towards the near post, a glance across, Torres had the chance at the back post. Roman Torres, of all people, the man who scored the famous goal, could have scored an almost even more famous goal, their first at the World Cup finals, but he slid it wide.
Well, you've got to say Jordan Henderson lets the first man get in front, and Harry Maguire switches off at the far post, and he should have scored.
He got the goal against Costa Rica that helped clinch qualification when they beat Costa Rica, Panama and made it to Russia. If he'd scored the first one for them at the World Cup finals, despite the scoreline of 6-0 at the moment, I mean, I don't know what they might do with him in terms of making him a national hero, but if he'd scored that one, well, he's made for life. However, he put it wide. So it's still 6-0, and England with Loftus-Cheek, who runs into trouble, and Panama look to break away again. I get the feeling now that they are going for this goal here. They're being beaten, they're going to be heavily beaten, but whenever they get the ball, they are heading directly towards the penalty area, which is what they're doing now with Cooper, and Armando Cooper is just checked by Henderson, and it's a free kick 15 yards inside the England half to Panama.
Well, here they go forward again. He just had a great opportunity to score, didn't he? I'm not going to say it, but I don't think we get a better chance than what they just had.
Free kick. It's going to be played in left-footed from the substitute Avila. England holding the line outside the penalty area. Avila pays it in, and a shot is in! It's in! They've scored one! Well, brilliant for them. It's Felipe Baloy who has scored Panama's first ever goal at a World Cup finals. He scored it against England. It's 6-1, and the Panama players and the supporters are celebrating as though they've won the World Cup here in Russia.
Well, I've got to say, I don't know what the back line of England were doing. So, you know, when you've got to play the ball, you've got to drop. And it's a great ball in, I've got to give him credit. One on the wall, he bends it around Ashley Young, and there's 3 or 4 of them. Nobody tracks. They all just put their hand up and say it's offside. 2 come back, 4 Reds waiting to put it in. Bad defending by England, that.
Stretch for it on his right foot, and he caught it well enough and hit a low bouncing shot past Jordan Pickford's dive to his left. It's the first goal England have conceded from open play at this World Cup, the penalty against Tunisia, and that one here. And we now have a scoreline of England 6, Panama 1. And that means that England's goal difference is now back to +6 in terms of who's going to top the group. Now I'm struggling with the arithmetic here in terms of who scored the most goals. Where are we? Well, they're identical records now. Identical records. They both scored 8 goals and conceded 2, England and Belgium. So
alphabetical.
So it would depend what happens on Thursday night in Kaliningrad. When we'll be there, BBC 5 Live bringing you commentary on the England-Belgium match, and of course every game here at World Cup 2018. 5 Live, the lines are open to talk about this match with Kelly Cates, who will be hosting the programme from our Red Square studio. Kelly with Terry Butcher, the England captain when they last reached the semi-finals at the World Cup, and Chris Sutton. So the lines are open to talk 606 on 08085 909 693. At 5 Live Sport on social media, at BBC 606. Text 85058, and England with the ball in possession inside the Panama half. But there's a different atmosphere now inside the ground. The Panama supporters are still celebrating that Felipe Baloy goal. They're on their feet, they're waving their flags and scarves. Not really a day for scarves in Nizhny Novgorod, but they brought them anyway. 10 minutes of the match to go, plus added time. Might still be time for England to add to their tally. Henderson is running the ball across field. It's Henderson, by the way, who's taken over the captain's armband after Harry Kane went off. At the moment, we're giving Kane a hat-trick for that. It's not changed on our statistics board. So a Harry Kane hat-trick, only the third scored by an England player at a World Cup finals. Here's Henderson, plays it square to Delph to his left. Delph square back to Henderson. Henderson now across to the right-hand side to Ashley Young, who'll go back into his own half to two-goal man John Stones. Now to the far side to Harry Maguire. England just keeping possession inside the Panama half. So during 6:06 we will bring you live interviews from down in the tunnel here. Which players will we be asking to speak to today, do we think? Harry Kane possibly? John Stones. Jesse Lingard?
Yep.
Basically the players who scored the goals. Ball's out of play for a throw-in for England on the far side. And Panama with Murillo, who gets the ball back. Is quickly put under pressure by Danny Rose, who does well. Wins the ball back. Vardy then gives it to Sterling. Sterling with a shot! Just dips and bounces wide of Pinedo's dive to his left.
I've not seen a lot of Sterling today, and he's worked hard for the team, but what you want is that quality in these type of positions, but that's a good 3-4 yards away to the post.
But with Kelly and Terry and Chris Sutton on 6:06, there'll certainly be discussion, won't there, about how Sterling has played and what Gareth Southgate should do. Would it be your gut feeling that Rashford would start against Belgium now?
Well, if it was me, yeah, but
but do you think he will do that?
To give everybody a run out, games, possibly, but it's going to be an interesting game that now, because Belgium's on about resting everybody, so it's going to be, it looks like nobody wants to win the group.
But if you, I mean, regardless of who you're playing, listen, we're all saying, well, they're going to do this and they're going to do that and get through. We know we've got enough tournaments, you and I. It never works out as you expect.
No.
Surely it's more important to put in a good performance.
Yeah, keep the momentum
going. Win well. Whether you're Belgium or England, win well and take that into the last 16.
So if you've got to win the tournament, you've got to beat whoever's in front of you. It doesn't matter. You can't plan.
However, it'll fill acres of airtime over the course of the next few days, which is good news. They might be talking about it on the podcast tomorrow. Every morning when you wake up, you can download the 5 Live World Cup Daily podcast from the usual places. Certainly the BBC Sport, the 5 Live website. Didier Drogba's on it today with Alan Shearer. We heard a little bit of that earlier with Mark Chapman. And tomorrow we'll have all of those interviews. If you miss them later, the interviews that we do with Gareth Southgate and the England players. Frank Lampard will be on it as well tomorrow. So that's the 5 Live World Cup Daily podcast. And Robbie Savage's World Cup breakfast is on tomorrow. Are you on tomorrow, Chris? 8:30?
No.
Every weekday mornings, not Chris tomorrow. He'll probably be on the next day. Here's Maguire on the left-hand side. Back to Stones. Stones forward towards Delph. Delph now back to Maguire. And Maguire is going to go off on one of those Harry Maguire runs. But he's challenged and the ball runs back to Delph, who curls the ball into the penalty area, but it's headed up and partly away by Baloy. And then Torres. It looks as though Baloy has taken the captain's armband. Yeah, even though Torres is still on the field.
Well, he can do what he wants now. He scored.
Yeah. Well, he's got
freedom of the city and everything.
He won his 100th cap, Baloy, in the previous match. He's won his 101st here, and he scored Panama's first goal at a World Cup finals, and he scored it against England.
He'll be running for president soon.
He will. The current president, Juan Carlos Varela of Panama, might have a thing or two to say about that. Here is Baloy at the back. Baloy chips it out to the left-hand side, where Davis controls it. We've got just over 5 minutes to play. The score, England 6, Panama 1. No one has ever said that before in a BBC radio commentary, in any commentary at a World Cup finals.
England since half time have been playing with cigars on, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I knew you were here. And you said to me, free kick for Panama that Avila will take. And Avila it was who played in the free kick from not too far away from this position.
Very similar.
When Baloy scored the Panama goal. And here is Avila looking to play it into the same position, but this time Walker gets up and challenged to head it away. Comes out to Fidel Escobar. Now backheeled by Murillo. Torres, it's popped up on the right wing now. Roman Torres. It's got a rather testimonial feel at the end of this game now after the celebrations for the Panama goal. England cruising to victory as they have been really since they scored the second in all honesty.
Yes, definitely. It's been such an easy game for them, and you've got to beat what's in front of you. That's what they've done. They've convincingly beat them. The second half they've just come off the pace. They've managed the game. They're saving their energy. Disappointment is they've conceded a goal which you didn't want them to.
6-1 and time running out, and Henderson playing it for Vardy. Vardy on the chase now. He gets there first ahead of three Panamanians. There's no one in the middle. Eventually they do arrive. Sterling, Vardy crosses. Delft as well to pull that down, and then tried to set Rose away on the left hand side, but as he went down he overhit it. Torres has got it back.
That was your hamstring, Fabio Delft.
After pulling it down at full stretch. You don't want to get injured at the World Cup in the final moments of a 6-1 win against Panama. Davis now for Panama, comes off the head of Rodriguez, then back once again to Davis near the halfway line. Just really seeing this game out now. If England happen to get another chance to score another one, then all well and good, but I don't think they're going to bust a gut. Escobar to Avila. Escobar continues to come forward, but finds Delft in front of him, so turns and plays it back into the back line to Baloy. Now Davis receives possession, and Rodriguez, little ball infield towards Cooper. Cooper's ball over the top. Blas Perez is onside, left side of the box, brings the ball down, forced out into the full-back position by Kyle Walker. Perez, and now Davis is involved as well. Ashley Young chases after both him and Rodriguez, so Panama return it towards the halfway line again with 2.5 minutes of the 90 to play and then added time. But Panama are going to be going home after the group stage of their very first World Cup, but what an effort really to get here ahead of the United States in their final qualifying group. Here's Rodriguez taking on Walker, and Pickford is able to come out and scoop it up along the dead ball line. Yeah, it's been quite an effort when you think about it. From Panama, this country, population of only 3.8 million. It is an isthmus, as we've been discussing. Panama, a narrow strip of land with water on either side. It has the famous canal, but they've made their mark on world sport by making their way to a World Cup finals. And okay, they lost 3-0 to Belgium and they're losing 6-1 to England, but it's being here.
Exactly. They've done brilliant to get here, but they've found out that they're well out of depth here. Where they play games where they're qualified from, obviously they're in every game, it's close, but this is another level they've come to here.
But what it's done as well is, as we heard from Gary Stempel, the former Millwall community officer who's played such a big part in developing Panamanian football and coaching, what this will do will, little like the London Olympics as the phrase went, to inspire a generation, because baseball has long been the sport in Panama, but lots of young kids growing up in Panama watching their team play at the World Cup finals might be inspired instead to turn to football. So who knows where it'll lead for Panama. 6-1, and what's that on the surface of the pitch? One of the players looked as though he was pulling bits out of his sock, and they're orange pieces. They look like orange pieces of material, and they're littered in the middle of the Panama half. It's a free kick to England out towards the left-hand side that Young is looking to take. Just raises his right arm, so he'll be swinging it in right-footed, so it'll swing towards the goalkeeper, Pinedo. The referee again is concerned and making his point about holding on the England players. There's the whistle. Ashley Young plays it in. A glancing header from Henderson, took a deflection, but it ran through to Pinedo, the goalkeeper. So we're in the 90th minute, Chris. Who would you pick out for England in this match? And we also obviously want to talk about Loftus-Cheek, who came into the side, and Sterling as well.
It's hard to actually say who's played very, very well. I would think Jesse Lingard looked good till he went off, for me. The rest of the players have just done enough. They've managed the game well. It's definitely not as good as the performance of the first half against Tunisia, but they've scored 6 goals.
Henderson takes a quick free kick up towards the edge of the penalty area. We've got 4 minutes of added time. Rose and Sterling are involved. Rose with the cross, but there's no one there in a white England shirt, and Davis is able to chest it down inside his box and volley it away. And again on Sterling and also Loftus-Cheek, who started his first competitive match for England.
I think Loftus-Cheek's did okay. I think I've seen him play better. I think he's looked a bit late at times. He's not free in his movement at times, but he's played this right hand side. He's done a job. I wouldn't say he was outstanding today. He's done a job, but Sterling, for me, for a role he's playing, still not in the game enough. Doesn't look like he's going to score. Didn't really look as if he was going to set anything up neither. So, and that's what he'll be judged on.
That's Chris Waddle on 5 Live. And you can have your say on 606 very soon. 08085 909 693 with Kelly Cates and Terry Butcher and Chris Sutton, who are back in Red Square in our studio there. So England 6, Panama 1, and we are in added time at the end of this match. And as it is, England and Belgium's records are identical. They will both have a goal difference of +6. They've both scored 8 goals. They've both conceded 2 goals. So it'll come down to what happens in that match in Kaliningrad to decide who goes through as group winners and who goes through as group runners-up. Here, Ashley Young for England. And now Loftus-Cheek just stretches for the ball on the halfway line. Henderson, up goes the pass out towards the left flank, but Murillo got there ahead of Danny Rose. Rose, though, challenges him for the aerial ball, and Murillo has deflected it out of play. So Rose takes a quick throw into Sterling. He's got no one near him. Sterling wants to go on a run here. He's just got a Villa in front of him now, so touches it back behind him to Delph. 2 minutes of added time to play before we're done here in Nizhny Novgorod. Loftus-Cheek is challenged, but Strong uses those strong shoulders of him to keep possession, and England go all the way back towards Pickford. So for England, it will extend their run of unbeaten matches to 12. It'll be the 4th win in a row for England, but from an early stage of this match, it was never in any doubt. Harry Kane currently being credited with the hat-trick, 2 penalties and one that hit him and went in. However, when we look at the history books in 20 years' time, we maybe won't remember that. And it's actually the first hat-trick that has been scored for England for almost 8 years. Ball deflected out of play for a throw-in to Panama. England's last hat-trick scored by Jermaine Defoe, who got 3 against Bulgaria back in 2010. Torres with the ball at the back, plays it across to Escobar, and now Cooper to the left-hand side to Davis. It's been a lesson for Panama here. England have been ruthless against them. They just weren't able to cope, Chris, for anyone who didn't hear the first half. Not able to cope with England's set pieces, really.
They're miles apart in teams, and yes, they're honest. They give what they are. They're very naive. Silly free kicks, silly pens of giveaway. Very naive side. Not a lot of discipline. They've played all right in spells. Some little moments they've had, but England different class compared to Panama.
Avila carrying it on. Delph with the challenge. Now Rodriguez again on the left-hand side, who has been busy for Panama. Cross from Davis, attempted overhead kick. Perez shoots on the turn, but it's blocked by Maguire, and the ball bounces to Walker, who's able to pass it away. Sterling lets the ball run underneath his foot, so Panama have possession back. Baloy forward towards Cooper. Delph slid in with a challenge. Panama coming again. Rodriguez is going to have an optimistic shot from 25 yards from an angle, and he hits it well wide of the far post for a goal kick. I think that's about it. 4 minutes played, 6-1 the score. Just keep an eye on the Egyptian referee here.
These could all be banana skins, these games, couldn't they? So you've got to make sure you've done it right, England. People might say they played better last game, whatever, there's foul time, but England, for me, have done enough. They've managed the game very well.
There's the final whistle here in Nizhny Novgorod, and it's a record score for England at a World Cup finals. 6-1. And Panama who were beaten out of sight in this match, really, will now go out of their very first World Cup after the group stage. They're down on their knees, a number of their players, but England have beaten them, and they've beaten them well, with 2 goals from John Stones, a hat-trick from Harry Kane, 2 penalties and one that hit him, a Loftus-Cheek shot and went in, but it appears to be given as a hat-trick nevertheless. Jesse Lingard scored the best goal of the match, but Felipe Baloy, the substitute, who came on and took the captain's armband, produced a great moment for them by scoring their first goal at a World Cup finals late on in the match. But the final scoreline here is England 6, Panama 1, and it's back to Moscow and Red Square